perhaps some still imagine rural America as a homogeneous landscape, lined with endless fields and identical small towns. If so, think again. Beneath that mainstream narrative lies a deeper story, one of small communities built from the ground up, often in the harshest of conditions. Yes, these are the towns founded by formerly enslaved people and their descendants, towns that rose as beacons of hope, independence, and self-determination. Through the stories of 15 Black-founded towns scattered across America, we'll uncover the hidden layers that shape their social and cultural landscapes. But first, what exactly lies behind these rarely heard names? Let's begin in the fertile delta of Mississippi, where Mound Bayou stands as one of the most well-known and historically significant Black towns in America. Founded in 1887 by formerly enslaved men Isaiah T. Montgomery and Benjamin Green, this land, once dismissed as worthless, was transformed into a self-sustaining haven during the Jim Crow era. This was no ordinary farming town. Mound Bayou was entirely Black-owned and governed, with its own bank, schools, and even the nation's first hospital for African Americans. But behind its once thriving prosperity lies a struggle for survival, as the town now faces economic hardship and a declining population. Still, Mound Bayou remains a symbol of resilience and a legacy that refuses to fade. From the Delta, we head to Central Florida, home to a town with a story just as powerful. Established in the same year as Mound Bayou, Eatonville became the first incorporated Black municipality in the United States. Though originally a hub for civic leadership and community development during Reconstruction, its lasting legacy lies in its rich cultural heritage. Eatonville holds a special place in American literature. It's the hometown of acclaimed author Zora Neale Hurston, who captured its spirit with vivid warmth and insight. So deeply tied is her voice to the town's identity that she remains its most celebrated figure, honored today by the Zora Neale Hurston National Museum. Festivals and annual celebrations continue to preserve that cultural thread, making Eatonville more than just a historic town. It's a living, breathing testament to Black artistic legacy. After exploring a town immortalized in literature, we turn to a state that hosts many similar communities. At the top of the list, Boley, Oklahoma, a town said to have begun from a bet between two Black men about whether their community could govern itself. Founded in 1903, Boley went on to prove the doubters wrong. Historically, Boley was one of Oklahoma's largest and most prominent all-Black towns, with every resident African American. It had banks, a newspaper, businesses, most notably, a thriving cotton economy. But like so many small towns, Boley was hit hard by the Great Depression and economic shifts, and its population dwindled. Today, its annual rodeo serves as a proud reminder of the town's founding spirit. Though no longer fully Black populated, Boley's roots and resilience continue to define its place in American history. Oklahoma still holds many powerful stories of Black-founded towns, and among the 13 that still remain, Rentiesville stands out. You might not have heard of it before, but this small town, established in 1903, is one of the few surviving all-Black towns in the state. Though tiny in size, Rentiesville is well known for its annual blues festival, which draws visitors from far and wide. Behind the soulful melodies that light up the town, however, lies a reality of shrinking population and ongoing economic struggles. Rentiesville's story is a reminder that cultural heritage can serve as an anchor, a lifeline for a community striving to endure. Heading north to the American Plains, we find a town with a story rooted in resilience and bold beginnings. In 1877, shortly after the Civil War, a group of formerly enslaved people from Kentucky made a daring journey to the high plains of Kansas. There, they established Nicodemus, the first all-Black town west of the Mississippi River, now designated a National Historic Site. Though its current population is small, the annual homecoming celebration brings together descendants from all over the country, keeping the spirit of the town alive. Nicodemus stands as a living testament to the courage and determination of Black pioneers who refused to accept the limits society placed on them. Back in Oklahoma, we find yet another remarkable town, Tatums. Alongside Rentiesville and Boley, Tatums is one of the few historically Black towns that still exist today. Founded in 1895 by a Black couple, it holds the distinction of being one of the state's longest-standing Black communities. Tatums once thrived during the oil boom of the 1920s, when nearby discoveries brought prosperity to many of its residents. But like many small towns, it has since faced declining population and limited economic opportunity. Still, Tatums remains rich in history and community pride, home to historic landmarks like the Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Locals are known for their strong community ties, sustained through clubs and gatherings that continue to bring people together year after year. Let's head down to Alabama, where we find Hobson City, a town born out of resistance. Founded in 1899, it came into existence after Black residents in the area were denied fair services by neighboring towns. In response, they carved out their own municipality, making Hobson City the first all-Black city in Alabama with self-governance. In the Jim Crow South, Hobson City stood as a bold statement of independence and self-determination. Though small, its political significance was enormous. It represented the will of a community that refused to be excluded. Today, Hobson City still faces modern challenges, especially in public services and infrastructure. Yet the spirit of its founders lives on, reminding us of what it means to reclaim power in a system built to deny it. Now let's head east to South Carolina, where Lincolnville holds the distinction of being the oldest Black town in the state. Founded in 1867 by newly freed African Americans after the Civil War, it was created as a safe haven of freedom and autonomy in Charleston County. The residents pooled their resources to buy land, build homes, churches, and schools, laying the foundation for a thriving Black community during the Reconstruction era. One of the town's founders, Bishop Richard Harvey Kane, played a key role in officially incorporating Lincolnville so that Black citizens could govern themselves. Even today, leadership in Lincolnville often remains in the hands of descendants of the original founders, a powerful reflection of legacy, pride, and continuity. Finally, we head to northern Louisiana for a town whose identity is deeply intertwined with education. Grambling may be small in size, but its influence is anything but. At the heart of this town is Grambling State University, one of the most iconic historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUS, in the country. Founded in 1901 by Charles P. Adams, the university became not just an academic institution, but also an economic and cultural engine for the entire region. Grambling's story is different. It doesn't just reflect survival. It shows how education can fuel empowerment, foster leadership, and serve as the backbone of a Black rural community. Despite the challenges that come with being a majority Black town in the South, Grambling is a living example of how a school can be the heartbeat of a town, shaping its past, present, and future. Back again to the Oklahoma plains. Yes, we're not done yet. Have you ever heard of Clearview? This small town was built with sweat and hope by formerly enslaved people looking for a new beginning in 1903. A simple newspaper ad drew these determined pioneers in. They came and with their own hands built homes, stores, churches, and schools. At its height, Clearview thrived. Cotton fields sustained the economy, and on Sundays, the town came alive with spirited baseball games. It was a beacon of self-reliance and resilience. While the population has dwindled and many buildings have aged, Clearview's spirit endures, a living reminder of a vital chapter in American history. Much like Clearview, there's a district whose story has become one of the most searing chapters in American memory. In the early 20th century, in the heart of Tulsa, a resilient Black community built Greenwood, which soon earned the nickname Black Wall Street, as coined by Booker T. Washington. This was more than a neighborhood. It was a self-sustaining economic powerhouse. Black entrepreneurs opened luxury hotels, department stores, movie theaters, banks, and clinics. Wealth circulated within the community, but in 1921, all of it was destroyed in the Tulsa Race Massacre. Though much of Greenwood was burned to the ground, its spirit survives, a powerful reminder of the prosperity that once was and the trauma that reshaped it. Continuing the story of Black towns built on vision and perseverance, perhaps none carries more ambition than Langston, Oklahoma. Founded in 1890 by E.P. McCabe, a former Kansas state auditor, with the dream of creating an all-Black state. With hope and determination, hundreds came seeking land and opportunity. Langston grew into a lively business hub, with shops and banks. But its most enduring legacy is Langston University, a historically black college and the only one of its kind in Oklahoma. The university became the town's anchor through hard times, keeping the flame of independence and purpose burning strong. From the hope-filled plains of Oklahoma, the story of black towns stretches westward, reaching into California's San Joaquin Valley, where a new dream took root. Founded in 1908 by Colonel Allensworth, a formerly enslaved man who rose to become a high-ranking military officer, Allensworth became the first town in California to be established, funded, and governed entirely by African Americans. Settlers came seeking refuge from discrimination, building a thriving farming community with their own school, church, and bank. But that dream began to fade after water access problems and the untimely death of Colonel Allensworth. Still, the spirit never died. Today, Allensworth is preserved as a California State Historic Park, a tribute to the resilience and vision of its founders. Back in Oklahoma, there's one last town that shouldn't be overlooked, though its name may be unfamiliar: Summit. In the early 1920s, Reverend L.W. Thomas, facing harsh discrimination in his home state of Texas, came to Oklahoma and bought land to establish a new settlement. Alongside his community, he built Summit, a town where black residents could live, work, and thrive in peace. The town quickly grew, with churches, shops, and schools forming the heart of daily life. Though time has worn down many of its buildings, Summit remains a testament to the tenacity of a community and to Reverend Thomas's enduring vision of safety and self-determination. Finally, our journey ends in a city that played a vital role in the civil rights movement: Greenville, South Carolina. Unlike the self-governed black towns we've seen, Greenville was not founded by African Americans, but its black community forged a powerful cultural and social presence within the confines of segregation. During the Jim Crow era, black residents built their own vibrant neighborhoods, centered around institutions like Sterling High School and the surrounding black business district. They established churches, shops, and schools that became both safe havens and sources of pride. Educators and civil rights leaders emerged from this community, making Greenville a hub of resistance against racial injustice. Though many historic buildings have vanished, the legacy of their struggle and strength still echoes through the city. In the end, these 15 stories from small black towns across rural America stand as living reminders of resilience, bravery, and the power of community in the face of adversity. They remind us that progress isn't only written in the skylines of big cities, but also etched in the soil of small towns that dared to dream. What do you think?